Okay, let's see how fast we jump up today. Let's see if people are rolling in. Let's see. Okay, my wife got censored as well. Nice job, sweetie. Where is everybody? Are we up? Are we? It says we. There we are. Lexington, John, Adrian from Queens. Hi, Keith. Looks like we are up for as long as, they allow us. Sarah from Quebec. Deborah, hello. Wright City, Missouri. I saw that. Jennifer, fantastic. Gold Coast. Hello, Greg. How's it going? My phone's going off like crazy. All right. Let's talk parasites, he says. Tremendous. Oh, there's lots of parasites. There's lots of parasites going on out there, both in your body and in Washington. I can tell you that much. Roxanne in Austin, hello. How are you? You doing good? Excellent. My phone won't go quiet. It's blowing up tonight. Love it. I saw Utah. Aztec, New Mexico, Miles. Hello. Christina from Florida. Merely Paragoria. Merely's on here. Merely is fantastic. Merely is one of our associates. And Merely loves taking care of kids and pregnant moms and moms that want to get pregnant. So if you are a mom or know a mom that would like to have children or have kids and they're unruly, then because they have too much sugar, and get a hold of Merely. Merely will help you. All right. Jillian, New Jersey. Hello. Sarah from Colorado. Hi, Frankie. Dora in Orlando. Hi, Dora. Hola from Massachusetts. Deb. Jean from Alabama. All right. Excellent. Caitlin from Louisiana, I think it was. Yeah. Susan in Ithaca. Susan Ithaca. That's fantastic. Can I recommend a like? I don't know what that means. Deltona Melissa. Hello around the corner. So much opposition to the cure. I agree, Celeste. It's crazy, right? I agree. Indy, Stacy, hello. How many children is too many? Hello, Lily. Hi, Amy in Australia. I'm not on YouTube tonight. Did I get yanked down? Let me check. I might have. Oh no, it says I'm live on YouTube. For now. Nancy at Oak Harbor, Washington. Bella in Woodstock. Hello there. Let's see. Yeah, flying right now is not a hot thing. Port Orchard, Washington. Coleman. Port Orchard, that sounds like a pretty place. Medicine Lodge, Kansas. Is that a name of a town? That's interesting, David. North America. I like it, Stephen. Carrie in Texas. Wonderful. Belinda, Buffalo, New York. We're going to talk about Rochester, New York tonight. Okay? All right. Let's dive right in, because I first have to show you a couple videos that I'm sure will get taken down. So whatever. What the hell? Might as well. Let's go with it, okay? The first one, maybe you've seen before, but it's from my favorite television show. You're going to find out now. First of all, Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, your source for health, freedom, and knowledge. See, sometimes I just wing things so much for you guys that I forget to say the name of the show and the host, and we'll see how long it lasts on social media. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But the first thing I want to show you is my favorite show of all time, besides The Sopranos. Sopranos is my favorite dramatic show. This is my favorite show in comedy. But I want you, when you watch this, I want you to think about what's going on today and transfer the same idea as the show is giving you, okay? Here we go. Again, my favorite show that I still watch. I hope none of these people are pedophiles because it's going to break my heart. But I watch this for sometimes for my sanity and to decompress because it's hilarious. And I'll tell you who my favorite character is after you watch it.
Cosmo Kramer.
Okay. You're checked in?
Yeah, thank you.
Here's your AIDS ribbon.
No thanks.
You don't want to wear an AIDS ribbon?
No.
But you have to wear an AIDS ribbon.
I have to?
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't want to.
But everyone wears the ribbon. You must wear the ribbon.
What you are? You're a ribbon bully.
Hey! Hey, you! Come back here! Come back here and put this on!
Hey, where's your ribbon? Oh, I don't wear the ribbon.
You don't wear the ribbon? Aren't you against AIDS?
Yeah, I'm against AIDS. I mean, I'm walking, aren't I? I just don't wear the ribbon.
Who do you think you are?
Put the ribbon on.
Hey, Cedric, Bob, this guy won't wear a ribbon.
Who? Who doesn't want to wear the ribbon? So, what's it going to be? Are you going to wear the ribbon? No, never. But I'm wearing the ribbon. He's wearing the ribbon. We are all wearing the ribbon. So why aren't you going to wear the ribbon? This is America. I don't have to wear anything I don't want to wear.
What are we gonna do with him?
I guess we're just going to have to teach him to wear the ribbon.
Where's Kramer? Everything's finished then.
Oh, I told him he'd never make it. He was up all night. Oh, my God. Kramer? Look at you. I told you. Up all night playing poker. Come on.
Hey, where's your AIDS ribbon?
So that is my favorite show. Seinfeld is my favorite show. And I am a giant Kramer fan. If you ever watched Seinfeld, you'll know that Kramer was the most outspoken, the most blunt of them all, and there's so many clips that you can pull up of Kramer. One, he took George to a holistic healer, which they made fun of, obviously. There's a chiropractor in the show as well, and there was actually a great scene in one of the episodes where George was in the hospital, and Kramer said, "You got to get out of here. They'll kill you here." So Kramer is my favorite, of course, because I feel like I'm a little bit of Kramer. But I wanted to show you that because this is what they do. He even called her a ribbon bully because that's what she was being, a ribbon bully. Does that have anything to do, or does that sound like anything that is going on in today's world? So I just wanted to show you that because obviously it's very funny, brings a little lightheartedness into it, but we're entering a very strange, insane, flipped over world where, if you've ever heard me before say this, I talk about a book called by Jim Mars, and it's called The Fourth Reich. Because guess what? When the Nazis were in Germany, the Third Reich, they didn't leave. Now, this actually all pairs together, which I don't have time to go into tonight, but maybe I'll do it later because I said I talked a lot about it months ago, but I haven't come back to it, and I will. And now I can say this to you because the world is going so insane that now nothing I say will be considered insane at this point, right? If I talk about Dracos and reptilians, we're past insane. But this is what happened. Operation Paperclip. So, you thought you got your official story on what happened leading up to World War II. Okay, not going to go there tonight. But then you got World War II, and then you were told that Hitler died. Hitler did not die. Hitler actually was rescued, and we know for sure they went to Antarctica, which pulls in the whole Antarctica story because the Nazis were very much involved with Antarctica. Now, what happened? You have the Nuremberg trial, right? You have all essentially like today's Gitmo, but back then. Those people were not all actually put to death or put in prison. No, they were actually rescued by the bankers, the cabal, the elite, you name it, right? What actually happened was many of them were taken out the back door, Project Paperclip. They were brought over to America, and guess what? The Fourth Reich was the United States of America back after World War II, and all the scientists from Nazi Germany, guess who they became? They became what you're dealing with today. They became the Dr. Fauci's of the world. They became the NIH, the Birxes, the Gates. They became CDC, the FDA. And guess what? I'm bringing all this up because does it even matter at this point? So Dell got busted. Dell got removed off of YouTube tonight or yesterday, whatever it was. Not just the slap on the wrist. Dell got completely yanked off of YouTube because he had RFK Jr. on and he was amping up to it. He was getting ready. He even said it. And what have I been telling you about this show? What have I been telling you about the whole thing? We are actually working on domains, literally behind the scenes right now. Dominic is like absolutely just blowing it up because we know at some point, if they took my show down 2 days ago, they're going to take the whole damn thing down. And we're actually trying to build the whole platform so that you guys can go over. It's going to have to go right to the website, to BitChute, to Parler. They're building it right now. Literally, as I speak, they're texting me. That's why my phone's blowing up. So, the Fourth Reich. That's what's occurring. This is not science, folks. This is called the Fourth Reich. Go buy the book. Go find out what's going on. Did you ever think that you would see the insanity that we have today, the burning of the new books, which is media? And then you watch them in Washington today? Come on, this is crazy. This is out of control. So Dell was taken off. I will tell you a story about Dell. I met Dell probably now 2 years ago. Dell came to Orlando. I went to dinner with Dell with some friends. The friends were around. We were talking. I got some time with them. We were chatting, but obviously everyone was talking. And then afterwards, Dell hung out because he was spending the night, and we were going to a talk the next day. So I hung out with Dell until, I don't know, probably 11 o'clock that night. It was only like me, him, one other person, and his manager. So we were actually all just talking. And Dell is, if he's controlled opposition, he's one of the best actors I've ever seen. He's not. Dell came across to me as one of the nicest guys on the face of the planet. If Dell wasn't, Dell would not have been yanked off of YouTube the way he was. Dell is actually pumping out high quality information. You have to go to the highwire.com now to find him. He's also on BitChute as well, but they're tearing things down left and right. I actually have a bit of a theory on Dell, and I don't know if it's true or not. Complete speculation. Don't take my word at this. This is just me theorizing. What I think is I have a feeling, I know it was outed about a year ago, that Dell had a large donor behind him to do the work he's doing. However, I want to know, since the President of the United States, before he became president back in 2014, tweeted out that he knew vaccines were causing autism, I want to know if the president is also tied to Dell way behind the scenes so that you can't see the actual money. Because the President of the United States knows what vaccines do. Dell knows what vaccines do. I've talked to Dell personally. Dell, in front of the camera, is for obviously potentially safe vaccines. I will tell you behind the camera, Dell is one of our best friends. Okay? And I'm not going to say on camera what he's told me, but Dell is on our side as far as I can tell. On top of that, so if you're going to go to follow Dell, you have to go to BitChute or go to the highway. So let me show you how I do something here, right? I know there's a lot of viewers on here. I don't have the most viewers out there, but I know it's growing. But this is what I want to do. So you'll get a lot of the channels out there in mainstream media. They won't talk about the other channels because they need their own audience. They're competing against each other, right? I'm not competing, folks. I want to spread power to all these channels because this is how we actually change the planet for good. I want you watching The Highwire. Dell, I want you watching Dell. Go to thehighwire.com and start following and watching Dell, right? Robert Scott Bell, a good friend of mine, the Robert Scott Bell Show. I was watching a little bit today while I was at the office, and he was getting amped up. I'll tell you, he was honestly getting a little amped up. He knows what's going on. He understands constitutional law. So Robert Scott Bell, who also goes 6 days a week on his radio and now live, is also syndicated, meaning big audience. And tonight, Robert Scott Bell had his last episode yanked off of YouTube as well, because Robert Scott Bell gives you truth. I have no reason to try to be the only show in town. Never have, never will. This is about spreading power and positive vibes across everywhere, because if we all come at them, they can't beat us. So I want you to go to Dell's show, and there's many others as well, and I'll go through all those, but these are the two that were most impacted today. And I think there might be some others. I don't know if Wakefield did or not, but robertscottbell.com, go to that website and you'll find Robert Scott Bell. He preaches natural health, constitution, liberty, freedom every single day. The same with Dell at thehighwire.com. So go and take care of those gentlemen who are helping spread education and taking care of not only Americans, but taking care of children. RSB was not taken off YouTube. His show was stripped. Just like my show was stripped 2 nights ago on YouTube, my show was also stripped 2 nights ago on Facebook. And today I found out my show was stripped on Periscope Twitter. So my episode on Dr. Stella was taken off all 3 channels. They are censoring everybody across the board, okay? So, yes, we are going to Parler. We will probably go to BitChute as well. We will also have the website. I will be streaming at some point straight from our website. It may not be up on social media. I'm telling you right now, you know how we talked about a blackout? Do you guys see a blackout coming? You know, Q talks about this. Do you see a blackout coming in social media? I see a massive blackout of social media coming, because today, when the tech companies went before Congress, they essentially lied their asses off. They lied through the whole thing. Tucker dropped information last night. I think it was last night. Yeah. So they're pulling everything. Welcome to the Fourth Reich. This is what we're battling. This is the battle for our freedom. This is the battle for America. That's what this is. This is literally coming up to an election. Freedom versus tyranny. Freedom versus a new world order. That's the only way I can see it. We need to support all of these shows, all of these people across the board, so that they know they're loved. Support them, whatever they're selling, because it makes these shows go on behind the scenes. This stuff ain't all free, people. You know that. Dell's stuff's not free. Robert's stuff is not free. All of my friends out there doing their own shows, it's not free. It takes money, it takes time, it takes energy. We need to pump support behind them. Now, I'm going to take you to this next video. This is Dr. Zev. If you don't know Dr. Zev was one of the first ones to talk about the HCQ and how well it worked. He was also on with Rudy Giuliani. Dr. Zev actually just came off of a cancer treatment. He's actually had it removed. He's doing fine. That's why you're going to see he has oxygen in his nose. But for 2 minutes, I want you to listen what Dr. Zev says, because Dr. Zev, I want to say Hasidic Jew, but I don't know enough about that world. You can tell he understands that we're under assault, and he is speaking and preaching freedom, okay? So let me go to this, listen to this for 2 minutes.
Hello, Dr. Zelenko. Thank God I'm home, and I want to make a video and thank everyone who for their prayers. I truly believe that my life has been spared because of the goodwill of the decent and moral people around the world that took time and energy to pray. I feel I need to reassure everyone. We're winning. It may not seem like it because the enemy is a cornered animal right now, and they know that they're going to be exposed or are being exposed, and they have blood on their hands, and they will do everything in their power to attempt to conceal and obfuscate as much as possible that fact. It's an instinct for self-preservation. But be very steadfast in your will, in your resolve. Keep pressing for the truth. Meaning, this pandemic is over. Meaning, this pandemic has a solution to it. There's another pandemic which is not over, which is the pandemic of falsehood, of lies, of false hysteria, mass panic, and artificially suppressed economies, and the pandemics of suicide, child abuse, spousal abuse, and collateral damage to people's health that otherwise they would have been treated for normal and routine things. So anyway, my strong wish is for you to just be optimistic, keep an open, happy frame of mind, and we will win.
So that is Dr. Zev. Dr. Zev, if you don't remember, let me show you his Twitter feed for the moment right now. That's his Twitter feed, Dr. Zev Zelenko, sorry. Dr. Zev, if you don't remember, Dr. Zev was actually one of the first people who was actually using HCQ to fix patients, I believe, in New York. He went crazy all over the internet before this was popular. So now you've had how many doctors tell you that they had the fix? I'm not going to use the other word because they're stupid out there in Facebook, Twitter, whatever, Google land, right? But we had the fix. So I will tell you 3 doctors right now who either are well known or have used it that have all said 2 things. It works and the pandemic is over. Dr. Zev said this months ago. You saw me play a clip where Dr. Ron Paul said it's over, according to these stats. And then you had Dr. Stella, as well as about 20 of her colleagues, say the same exact thing. It's over. We have the fix. There is no reason for any of this to occur. But as I say that, let me transition you into the next article, which is complete insanity. And this came out this afternoon. They are now taking you into the fear. They want you wearing goggles and eye shields to prevent the spread, and that the flu vaccine is a must. This was as of 5:30 this afternoon on ABC News. This is what they're pushing now. The nation's top infectious disease expert spoke live. Okay? I'm going to take you down through this because this is all insane. All right? Fauci says, if you have goggles or an eye shield, you should use it, he said. Now, this is where he goes into, he's completely insane because he's never talked about this before. You have mucosa in the nose, mucosa in the mouth, but you also have mucosa in the eye. Theoretically, you should protect all the mucosal surfaces. So if you have goggles or eye shield, you should use it. This is what they're doing now. All right? He said, they're not universally recommended, but if you really want to be complete, you should probably use it if you can. He is completely out of control. This was his little Instagram feed today, and he wants you to wear goggles, eye shields, to prevent the spread. And then he is saying down here, you should absolutely get the flu vaccine. Okay, and you guys are going to send your kids to school next month? Is that what's going to happen? Is that how this is all going to go down? Because are we now going to partition off their whole desk, 6 feet between, right? Oh, and then they'll have protection gear. But I bet you all the tech companies will make little digital things that will go around their head like they do in China. All right? Like they do in China, so we can set them all up for communist schooling. Have you guys not... I mean, we are at a point now where if you don't see that this is communist China or the Fourth Reich, I don't know what you're looking at. So now we're going to go. So we said this, that once the flu season, and I hate calling it a flu season because it's not a flu season, but once flu season comes around, so the fall and winter are coming around, people start eating poorly because the holidays are around, so lots of sugar, and then the immune systems start going and crashing. And everyone starts feeling bad, and all of a sudden they have a little sniffle. They must have the flu. Well, that means, according to the good doctor, that you should have your shot, which I can't imagine it might have anything else in it that might then set off another problem going into, let's see, September, October, maybe November. Yeah. Does this make sense now? Do you see what's happening? This is how it all works. If they want you and your kids to wear goggles and face protection to avoid this, and that you must get a flu vaccine because that is going to save you from everything, okay? This is what we're going after. Now, today... Don't think the NIH, the CDC, the FDA, and all these other ones aren't in bed by themselves. They're also connected to your tech companies. I don't have the clips right now because I didn't feel like watching it because it's, first of all, they weren't brought into Washington. They got to sit in the comfort of their own homes via Zoom or whatever other meeting they were using. And they don't really have to face the music, right? I think there's a big difference between being in front of a camera and then actually being in a congressional hall where you actually feel like you might want to tell the truth. They avoided many questions, right? They claimed that they had no play in the 2016 election, that they're not at all involved in any of the election results. They're not involved in any of the lead up to the election. And that, oh, by the way, they don't believe, or they don't see, they've never themselves. So Bezos from Amazon, I forgot the guy's name from Google. You know who he is. And then you have Zuck, right? Jack did not show up from Twitter. He was not there. But all of them said that they had no recollection or had never seen any evidence that China might be involved with stealing information from technology that we have, which is complete and utter BS. I mean, let's be honest, just not true. Not true at all. However, look what the president did. The president today, now I have not read through all this, so bear with me. I don't know exactly what was done with this, but he ordered executive order on online censorship, prevents tech giants from altering users' free speech, demands transparency of moderation practices. Now, again, I have not gone through all of this, but basically he doesn't want censoring anymore, especially censoring other side, like the conservative viewpoint. And so this is here. I haven't gone through it all. I just know that they put it through. They're very proud of it, so I'm going to have to read through that. But he is working... so this is what I see happening. I see at some point, internet, social media, a combination, I don't know, is going to go down. I think they are going to bust everybody on Twitter. They're going to take Q off Twitter. They're going to take anybody that talks about healthcare off Twitter and Facebook. So everyone's saying, oh, well, Dell's still on Facebook. Give it time. They took my show off. It was YouTube first. About an hour after the show was done, they stripped it. Facebook was stripped in the middle of the next day. And then today I went and looked on Twitter Periscope, and the video got stripped from there. So like basically 1 to 2 or 3 consecutive days, they stripped it. They're stripping all counter narrative. And I think that either the president yanks it down or they yank it down or something along those lines. And then also Scavino, I think it's Dan Scavino or Pascal, months ago said they were coming out. The Trump administration, the president was coming out with a platform unlike you've ever seen. So, the places to go: Parler, BitChute. Those are big ones right there. We're not leaving Facebook. We're not leaving Twitter. Not leaving Instagram, anything like that. We're just saying that it's most likely at some point it is going to go down. Okay? Now, moving on. I'm going to try to take some more questions tonight. So I'm gonna consolidate this down, all right? The Defense Production Act. No one saw this. This came out of like left field, all right? Now, let me tell you a little story about my upbringing, okay? I am from New York State. I'm not from New York City. New York State. Central to upstate, a little bit of southern. It's a weird, in New York, there should be southern, as we call it, the southern tier. There should be central New York and then upstate New York. Upstate New York is way up there, okay? Now, I am from the southern tier of New York originally, okay? But I also went to school in central New York. So southern tier of New York, we had this place called Johnson City or Endicott. They call it the Triple Cities. Johnson City, Endicott, Binghamton. Triple Cities, all right? I believe that's what they call them. And there was this big company there. There was this big company called IBM. And when I was growing up, Binghamton, Elmira, Johnson City, they were booming like crazy. Booming. Like everyone was happy, people were good, etc., 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 right? Booming. And then as I got older and was in college, IBM started going down. And I will tell you, as IBM went down, now IBM is still there, but as IBM went down, jobs left like crazy. I mean, I remember talking to my parents when I was in college, and they were basically saying, like, you're probably not going to stay here. Like, I'm going to go elsewhere. That's why I went to Boston first, because I had to go to a big city with the industry that I worked in. I was not going to be able to get work in what I was doing in that area. All right. So Johnson City, Binghamton, Endicott, IBM, it went down. It went down hard. And it's still a very depressed area the last time I was up there. Then there's this place called Rochester, New York. Rochester, New York is actually where I had some family up there. I had an aunt that lived up there. I don't know if she still does or not. And my in-laws are originally from Rochester, New York, and then they moved to Miami to go to school. But Rochester, New York is very similar in the fact that Rochester used to be pretty booming because there was this company called Kodak. And Kodak was very popular because every single person on here, most likely, has had a Kodak camera or Kodak film or knows the name Kodak. And they went into digital since then, but it really went downhill, right? And Rochester became, guess what? A very depressed area because there wasn't a lot of money because Kodak had kind of gone, right? I think my wife's aunt actually still or was working for Kodak. I think it was Kodak. But anyway, it became a depressed city. Rochester was beautiful, but people just didn't go there anymore because it didn't have a lot of economics to it. Now, I bring that up because I'm from that area, but this happened all around the country. You find small towns, big cities, I mean, mostly small towns though, where there used to be an economy, there used to be manufacturing, there used to be business, right? And they all died off because the business, guess where it went to? it went overseas, mostly to China. We started buying everything super cheap out of China. And then, out of left field, Kodak back in the news. Now, some people might be thinking, are they making film again? Are they making cameras again? Are they going to do photography again? No, no, no. Now, they did dabble in this before, but that's not what they were doing for good. They're actually back into pharmaceuticals. Now, I'm going to say this again because the first thing people say is, why are you for pharmaceuticals? Why is this a good thing? Why are we putting drugs back on? And guess what, guys? I hope one day, and I hope that I am here to see it, I hope one day that the majority of all Americans are on healthy diets, whole food nutrition, whole herbal nutrition, or homeopathy. I hope the majority of the population is on clean food, supplementation, and rebuilding their health. I really do. However, one, there always will be a place for emergency medicine care, saving lives, some form of painkillers because you have to get people out of pain if they're in agony, things like that, right? But at the same time, you can't flip overnight, at least that I know of, okay? You can't just flip everything overnight. Because if you did that, we have a lot of people on medications, especially the elderly people, right? And on top of that, I'm going to be very careful how I say this because you gotta be cautious. One of the things that's very possible going into the golden age is there might be something called CURES for everything known to man. Now, some people are going to say that's crazy. No, 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 no. We've known this forever. Disease is not supposed to be here. We actually have fixes for everything, including cancer. Now, let me tell you something before I actually even go to this. I wanted to tell you that story about Kodak. You hear me a lot of times talk about parasites. Now, let me just tell you that when it comes to healthcare, there is a lot of stuff that is both fungal as well as parasitic. And I always say there's so much stuff that becomes parasitic, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, there is actually a very, very good, now I wouldn't even say theory at this point. I would say it's been proven that cancer can be parasitic in nature. Well, guess what medication fixes potential parasitic issues? Oh yeah, that's right. That's I'm just going to give you the initials. HCQ. Okay? Well, guess which company happens to be making or be just gotten about almost $1 billion loan from the government is Kodak Pharmaceuticals, and they will be making 25% of the ingredients in generic pharmaceuticals, namely HCQ, that happen to kill parasitic issues. Now, there are far more natural ways to do it, but let's just say we have a whole bunch of people that need a whole bunch of stuff to kill a whole bunch of diseases, and a lot of it's parasitic and a lot of it can be handled by HCQ. How about we bust out some Kodak Pharmaceuticals across the nation? Let's fix some older people. Let's fix some baby boomers. Let's fix some people that aren't ready for natural health yet, but they want to fix to the problem and they want to handle the parasites in their body. So then you have Kodak getting a loan to bolster the US produced drug supply. Kodak is on the map. This was done via the Defense Protection Act. So they can actually go into, the president can now rule, now not rule like a dictator, don't get me wrong, but under this power, he can start making US companies produce things that need to be produced for the American economy because we are dumping Chinese pharmaceuticals. We are bringing everything back to nationalization. We are bringing things back to the United States of America. And here it is. I'm not going to go through this all. You've probably heard about it in the news. Okay? Right here, though, great quote. If you look at drugs, 90% of the drugs that we take today are generics. And they're almost all made overseas. The dominant manufacturer of ingredients for generics is China, and number 2 is India. And so we said if we're going to reshore and bring things back, we're going to have safety and security going forward. We need to change that. So they are going to be producing the ingredients for hydroxychloroquine, HCQ. I guess I can just say it at this point. Who cares? Like, we get pulled, we get pulled. I don't really care. This is what I'm going to do. I'm throwing away half my show tonight because I can do it tomorrow. Because I really want to show you this video. And then I'm going to have you ask questions because I know you guys probably have questions. So I'm going to do this. I will talk about parasites a little bit right after this, but I want to show you this because guess what? It's game time. It's on. We have the Fourth Reich coming against us, which is completely insane. The Fourth Reich is here, but now it is time to battle. And this video was fantastic. And you are going to really enjoy it because this is your motivational wake-up call. So let's rock and roll.
Now the trumpet summons us again, not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need, not as a call to battle, though in battle we are, but a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, year in and year out, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself. Can we forge against these enemies a grand and global alliance, north and south, east and west, that can assure a more fruitful life for all mankind? Will you join in that struggle? In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world. And so, my fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man.
So if that doesn't get you pumped up, I don't know what does. Because whether JFK Jr. is here or he's not here, it does not matter. Either way, the whole point is you're seeing the writing on the wall. You're seeing what they're doing. You see the plot. You see the plan that they are trying to take down the American people. They're trying to take down the planet. That is their goal. That's what they want to do. They have said that they will do anything required to continue to keep control of the people of America as well as the planet. I have heard some crazy things that I'm not going to drop tonight about what could happen over the next couple months. I'm not going to drop. I'll drop them soon, not because I'm trying to hold them back, but because there's some crazy stuff that could happen, and I want to make sure I have more resources on what I'm reading so that I don't just scare the hell out of people, because that is not the intention. The intention is, as he said, to get us ready for not only the physical, but the mental and the spiritual battle that we are going through. That's exactly what's happening. We have an oppression over us unlike any other. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to go to a FEMA camp. I don't want my country becoming a communist country. I will fight back. You need to fight back. I have never been called to physical war, and I won't be, because I'm not eligible. If it came to that, would I? You do for your country what you have to do for your country. You do for your planet what you have to do for your planet. All right? But this right now is a battle of, insane as it sounds, a digital battle. We have to put all of our energy behind this to stop from happening what they've been planning for a very long time. We have to win this. We have to be prepared. We have to have the weapons. We have to have the food. If they shut down the grid, it's very possible. We have been trying to figure out for the longest time what the timeline is of what Q has talked about. And I'm going to say it again. I'm going to throw another disclaimer out there. This is not a worshiping of Q. This is not a worshiping of the president. This is not a worshiping of anything but God. Right? But for all those people out there that say, oh, nothing's really happening, nothing's come true that he said. No. Are you watching what's happening? They're stripping people's voices off social media. Now, I understand that those companies own those platforms. However, it has already been justified in saying that it became a publishing or media company. Therefore, freedom of speech does come into play. All right? So, we are actually seeing this play out very similar to how Q said it. It's just a little different than how we were viewing it. And the timeline, obviously, and Q never said a specific timeline. Anytime you guys have ever seen a timeline or even ever seen an event that was said was going to happen, as in like the president was going to get arrested this day, that didn't come from Q. That came from Anons. Anons are trying to figure it out. But everything that Q has said has come. Did he not say that Flynn would be exonerated? That was in the Q drops. Doesn't get bigger, really, honestly, up to this point than Flynn being exonerated. That's massive. And now we have a president putting together a national economy and bringing stuff back home that we've had in other countries for our whole lifetime. This is huge. We have parasites running this planet. So when you guys ask me about parasites, oh yeah, we are literally in a war against parasites. That's what we're in a war against. They are parasites against our planet. They are parasites against our country and other countries. They are parasites against our bodies. What happened to us physical bodies being able to live to 100, 200, 300, 600 plus years old, as biblical times many times tells us? It's very possible we are supposed to live far longer. But why? Why are we not living longer? Because our health has been destroyed. Just like our planet, our earth, our soil has been destroyed. We must stick together and we must actually destroy the parasites. Now that takes me into parasites, by the way, which I told I would be talking about tonight. So, some far out stuff here. You've never seen the backside of the moon, by the way. just so you know, you've never seen the backside of the moon. We are coming up on a full moon the night of August 3rd to August 4th. Now, it started amping up already. All right. So if you guys are having issues, okay? If you are having issues, constipation, gas, bloating, diarrhea, pain, neck pain, low back pain, irritable bowel problems, Crohn's, diverticulitis, allergies, getting hungry, like can't eat enough, sugar cravings, itchiness, skin, ears, nose, eyes, nervousness, anxiety, depression, teeth grinding at night, yeah, vision problems, forgetfulness, cloudiness of thinking, not as fast, not as witty. Who's having problems sleeping? Anybody's having problems sleeping? Well, guess what? Not only do you have parasites in your body, right? You actually have parasites on our planet. All right? These things come from all over the place. I actually truly believe that they've kind of been let loose. Now, what did I tell you? I just said you've never seen the backside of the moon. I'm going to throw out this crazy conspiracy theory, okay? It's not really a conspiracy anymore. What's conspiracy anymore? Let's be honest, okay? Is there anything that I can throw at you guys at this point that would sound as far-fetched as the holy hell that we're going through right now? I mean, honestly, probably not, right? Not likely. So, here's the theory, okay? I was actually told by a NASA employee. I'm going to tell this story again, okay? I'm going to tell this story again. Many years, my wife actually had a patient who was a NASA employee. NASA is not far from our office. And he came to us for nutrition. We got him healthier. He was doing great. He was leaving NASA. He was a higher up. He was retiring from NASA early because he did very well. And he was going to live on a farm away from everything. Hint, hint. And I had heard him in the office. My wife had talked to him a little bit about NASA and things like that. But I had lots of questions because I study a lot of outside the planet stuff. I find it fascinating and interesting and entertaining. But I also find a lot of it probably could be real. So I said, he finished up. He was at his last appointment because he was moving away. And he was leaving the office, and I literally I ran out of the office. This was years ago. Ran out of the office, chased him down into the parking lot, and I said, I have questions for you, and I have to ask these before you leave. And he said, yeah, what's that? I said, first of all, is there life outside this planet, as in extraterrestrial intelligent life? He said, yeah, of course. If you don't know that by now, I don't know what to tell you. He goes, it's mathematically impossible, and we've seen stuff. We know there's stuff there. He's like, I can't say a lot to you, but yes, there's stuff there. And then I said, okay. And then I said, okay, a couple more questions. What's the deal with the moon? Did we go to the moon? And he said, well, I can't answer that. I don't know for sure. He said, but I will tell you that the moon is completely hollow. That they pinged the moon with a metal rod, and it's hollow. He said it's hollow. And he said, if it's hollow, it has to be metal. There you go. Okay, from a higher up in NASA, who was not going to BS me, by the way. He was a very ethical, honest gentleman. And he said, it's metal, which means it's a satellite. Okay. If you watch any David Icke stuff, Saturn shoots off stuff that may or may not hit a satellite that then affects the Earth. Okay? You've never seen the backside of the Earth for reasons. All right? Now, why do you think the Earth is affected by the moon and its gravitational pull? And why do you think the waves do what they do? And why do you think everyone gets a little bit crazy around parasite time? Because guess what? it's being affected by the full moon, which would make sense from a satellite perspective. If you have the full moon being hit, we're getting the full brunt of it. All right? Have I gone too crazy on you? Have I gone way over the line? There's tons of different kinds of parasites, okay? There's roundworms, there's hookworms, there's liver flukes. Liver flukes are nasty. They get stuck up in the liver. They get pulled out, okay? Tapeworms, nematodes. There's large parasites. There's microscopic parasites. I don't know if my wife told you this, but the other day a patient told us that they actually felt something still coming out after they went to the bathroom, but it wasn't out all the way, and they had to pull out a parasite that was coming out of them. Okay? So, can I tell you? So I got this. Is now I'm having fun. Okay, this is my. I love this stuff. Okay, I love this. This combines like all of my favorite things: politics, healthcare, extraterrestrials. Like it all comes together. My theory is we have been taken over on this planet by some very, very not good stuff. Creatures, serpents, Dracos, reptilians, I don't know, whatever it is. You're not even, this is not even Noble Patriot After Dark. You guys are getting extra information that mostly the Noble Patriots After Dark get on the group, okay? Yes, they worship Saturn. Saturn shoots freaking beams that bounce off the moon that hit Earth. Can you get any crazier than that? And now we have these crazy things that are controlling Earth and controlling your politicians and controlling Hollywood and everything else that live underground, your DUMBS in the tunnels. I showed you the Orion lines, right? They're underground. They're destroying our planet through our food system and our earth, our soil. We've talked about this before, right? It's in our soil. They've destroyed our soil. I did a video maybe a couple of years ago now, maybe 2 years ago, that there's weevils in the grains. When you eat grain that's not that's genetically modified and or glyphosate from our poor soil, weevils actually bury themselves inside the grain so that when you eat it, they hatch parasites. Okay, so everyone thinks it's just like walking in the dirt and animals, and yeah, that's a problem, but it's really not a problem. I mean, we should be able to walk barefoot. We should be able to be around our pets and not have these problems. The problem is they destroyed the immune system, and the parasites go in the body, they infest, and then upwards of 20 to 30,000 eggs can be laid daily in your body from these parasites. You want to know why I talk about getting rid of parasites all the time? So when people ask me health questions, and a lot of times I go, yeah, it sounds like parasites. Yeah, it sounds like parasites. I'm not BSing you. I'm not just wanting to do a bunch of parasite stuff for everybody. This is what we're finding. I think, honestly, 95% of the people that come through my office for healthcare, whether it's myself, my wife, or our associates, so Hyla, Mirly, Renee, all of us help patients every single day. 95% of our patients at some point have to remove parasites out of their body. It may be one or two. It may be a bunch. It's different for everybody. It's holding your immune system down. We have parasites on our planet. We have parasites as politicians. We have parasites in our ground. We have parasites in us because they're destroying our planet for us. Glyphosate, GMOs, oil toxins in the water, plastic, all of it. We have an immune system. Our land, our planet has an immune system. We are supposed to be a healthy, symbiotic relationship with our earth. All right. See, with Dr. Dean, you get patriot, you get hardcore gun guy, you get conservative, you get libertarian, but you also get the woo-woo of the natural health world because I know how things work. We have a symbiotic relationship with our planet. And I truly believe It's one of the things that makes us as patriots is we want to save our planets. We want to save our country. We have to save our sovereign rights, our God-given rights. Okay? So, that was a little bit on parasites. It's going to go into more. I'll keep going into more as we go. But does that make sense to everybody? Because, man, I've been holding on to that stuff for a long time. Because if you go out in the public right now and I tell somebody on the side of the road that freaking Saturn, and if Saturn is bouncing rays, frequencies off the moon and hitting Earth, you might call me a crazy person, just like Dr. Stella is called a crazy person because she believes that alien DNA, because she's right, is in the vaccines and that reptilians might rule the world. Have you figured out now that like Dr. Stella and myself and maybe some others that are actually talking about this might be a little right? And it's not that I want to be right. I'm just telling you what I find. Dr. Stella is a wonderful Christian spiritual woman who's also a medical doctor and works with clinical stuff all day long. And she's telling people in her ministry that freaking there's alien DNA in vaccines and that reptilians run the damn world. So I just now feel more open to talk about it because a medical doctor's talking about it. I have another medical doctor who's a friend of mine who's local in my area. He used to come to the office. We used to talk about this all the time. He knows about it. Right? So, yeah. Get aboard, man. Get aboard. All right. Even Tesla talked about it. I mean, come on. Even I'm trying to remove these damn things from my body. I'm trying to go to the next level all the time. I know it's freaking people out, but guess what? People say, I don't believe it. And I go, do you believe 4 months ago that they would have shut the whole planet down and shut America down over what we found out was a fake magical pathogen that was possibly created in a lab and dumped on us, and they would have shut the entire planet down, and it's still going into August? Would you have believed that? And they would have shut down a multi-trillion-dollar economy in just America? No, you wouldn't have believed that, okay? You wouldn't have believed that. Tim, what link do you want? You want some video link. Is that the Q video link? I'll dump that in. Okay, what questions do you guys have? I went over an hour as always because Dr. Dean can't shut his mouth. It's a curse and a blessing all at the same time. Yes, Deb, it's biblical. That is correct. How many times do we have to say it is biblical? When I say biblical, I do not mean just big. I mean literally biblical. Okay, I'm going to dump that Q video link. I think that's what people want. I'm going to dump that in here right now while people ask me questions, okay? I am happy to do that for you. There. I did it. Oh, somebody had swollen tonsils. 6-year-old. Miles, get a hold of me. Right here, guys. I'll answer some questions. I'm happy to do that. But if you want help, I will happy to work with you. You have to go here. This is the office. We have success stories rolling in. I literally just talked to a couple people today who are literally pushing out parasites. I actually talked yesterday to a girl who's a teenager who is in back pain constantly. She's a dancer and she can't dance because she's in constant pain. Within a week. Actually, 2 weeks. Sorry, 2 weeks. She told me yesterday on the phone that she never knew what it was like to be able to dance without pain, and she just did it after 2 weeks with me. So let's get on board. Let's get these people fixed. We have a country to save. We have August, September, October. We have 3 months to get these bodies healthy, because if you saw that video, we have a war we're undertaking right now. All right. What are you supposed to do to save your country? You have to hit social media hard. You got to get healthy. Prepare yourself. Okay. Let's see. What is meant by nothing can stop what's coming? Well, according to Q, we can't lose this because God wins. That's what it means. Okay. Can you get reinfected with parasites? You can, but if you get clean enough, it becomes much less likely. The cleaner you get, the more your immune system goes up, the less likely you get re-hit with them, okay? Let's see. Oh my God, there's some good comments tonight. I might be up late looking at these, all right? My wife is actually on here as well, helping with some of it. And good question. Type 1 diabetes. I have seen type 1 diabetics with parasites in their pancreas, and that's why the pancreas shuts down. So we do our best just to fix as well as we can, not necessarily reverse, but get quality back up, okay? Good. No surgery, damn it. Surgery last at all times, last. Only if emergency necessary, as far as I'm concerned. Excuse me. I'm fading, but I'll get some questions. I'll get some answers in here. Where is Assange? I don't know. I heard Assange was taken care of. Okay. Get yourself healthy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Melina. You're a blast to work with. How do I get rid of parasites? Lots of food changes and lots of removal with strong supplements. I'm going to tell you, yes, we're working on the protocols, but I've got a couple things I got to get past from stuff on my end that we're working on. They will be out, but I will tell you, I only work with physician grade stuff. I do not play with, you will not see health food stuff in my store. It's physician grade, meaning it makes things go faster. Okay. It's high powered. All right. GMO mosquitoes. Oh yeah. They've genetically modified everything at this point. Okay. Can you replay on this Facebook? Yeah, of course, Carrie. Let's see. There's so many good questions. You can get healthy before the mercury's out, okay? We'll get the mercury out afterwards, but you have to get your body ready to get mercury out, okay? I had to do that as well. I have mercury out on this side. Norbert's coming back. We're going to talk about water, and I also have another water expert as well coming on who's a fantastic. I have Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride coming on for the GAPS diet soon. We're just getting scheduling done, okay? Be positive, Gail. We have nothing else we can be is positive. If we go negative, it's not worth it, okay? Can you parasite cleanse while breastfeeding? Audra, you can do gentle things to help the immune system go up during breastfeeding, okay? Good question. We help a lot of breastfeeding moms. Oh, man. Joshua, yeah, surgeries. We usually get people really healthy before surgery so that their recovery is super fast. Let's see. Cloning, Tina, that's a good one. I'm going to talk to Dr. Reed. He's doing some cloning research right now. I'll find out about that. Do I use Norbert's product? Yes, I do. Yes, absolutely. Let's see. I'm waiting for Sasha to do final confirmation, but that is the plan. I plan on having Sasha on Friday. If something changes, I'll let you know. I'm just waiting for final confirmation from his team, okay? Good. TMGA concerns could be parasitic, also stress related, yes, and you need some chiropractic care as well. Constipation is a symptom of parasites, yes. How much water should a person drink a day? That's a good question, Daphne. I find that if you're not thirsty, you're good. So I don't think you need 8 ounces of water a day. I mean, if you get a good amount of water in, plus you're getting water from food that you eat, like vegetables. But if you're thirsty, it means obviously you're already dehydrated, okay? You also need salt, not just water. You have to get salt in, okay? Oh, Kelsey, I did one show on CRISPR. I'll do another one for you, okay? We'll work on that maybe for next week. But CRISPR, really good one. Yeah, CRISPR is what's being used for COVID as well. Natalie, I just went through symptoms of parasites. Constipation, headache. I mean, there's a list of them, okay? Lots of things. Lymph cleaning and draining. Yes, very good lymph cleaning and draining. I have some really great products for lymph cleaning and draining. I think it's very important. Yes, because lymph system doesn't move on its own. There's no pump. Lymph system requires movement of your body. Rebounder is great. Up and down on a rebounder is really great, okay? That's good for the lymph system as well because the lymph system does not have its own pump. Any type of itching is parasitic and fungal, most likely. Yes. Okay. I'm going to answer 2 more questions before I am done because I am way over my time tonight. Let's see. I thank you for that. Gingivitis, definitely a vitamin C deficiency in gingivitis. And then probably a mineral problem as well. A holistic approach instead of HCQ. I would say artemisinin complex. How about that? Is Candida a parasite? It can be. A lot of times the parasites hold the immune system down so the Candida can take over. But either way, guys, you got to get rid of carbs. There's no way around that. Okay, you got to get the carbs low. Vivian, tonsil stones. I don't know if I've heard of tonsil stones before, but I could see that. That means that you have a hardening in there, the calcium, so, or oxalate possibly. I have to look that up. But anytime you see a hardening of something, a lot of times parasites or funguses, which funguses also kinetic parasites, actually encase themselves in calcium, okay, to make themselves that thing. Now, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about something else. Just so you know, this leads to what I'm going to tell you. This is the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to bed. I'll probably look at some comments. Here you go. If you have questions, guys, this is what I'm going to do. Do me a favor. If you have questions and I did not get to you, I'm gonna let you do this again. I'm gonna put this in. Questions. I'm gonna put the email address in right now because I don't want to miss all your guys' questions because I know you're asking great questions and I want to help all of you as much as humanly possible because I love all of you guys. So I'm putting my email address in the comments right now. It's questions@drjasondean.com. So questions@drjasondean.com. I'm hitting enter right now. It's in there. If you have questions that I don't get to, and I see a lot of health questions coming through, I don't want to miss all you guys. Please also email that to us, and I will do my best to get on that, and we will either get you answers or we will show you how we can help you with it, okay? Perfect. Now, last thing. I talked about cancer. I talked about parasites. What happens is the body will surround any foreign element or object with calcium to protect itself. Okay? So, for example, if you have a piece of metal, if you had a surgical procedure and they put metal in you, the body is naturally going to put calcium around it to protect the rest of the body. It's basically using it as concrete to protect itself, okay? So, when you have a foreign thing in your body like a parasite or a yeast that's chronic or a bacteria that might be chronic, all right? What's going to happen is your body is going to send calcium. Morley Robbins talks about this with me. Your body is going to send calcium to the problem area and it's going to start encasing it. I'm going to give you a couple examples of this. Cancer gets encased by calcium, right? A lot of times it's just parasitic. You see older people or people who have brain problems, right? And then they do an MRI or a scan and they see white plaquing. Guess what that is? That's calcium. Why is calcium there? They're going to say it's a lesion. No, what happened is you have things like parasites and heavy metals that are in the brain. They're not supposed to be there. So the body, being smart, but also being stupid technically, sends calcium to surround it. And now you have yourself things like tumors and lesions that they talk about. And long term, as that continues to get bigger, it makes irregular cells. Those irregular cells are considered cancer and they start going throughout the body. They erode the body, and then you have the body dying off. That's how it works. Okay? Guys, well, that was fun. I talked about the moon being a damn satellite tonight to you guys. How about that? You got like after dark stuff, okay? Anyway, I hope you liked it. Email me questions@drjasondean.com. I'm going to put it again because someone wrote it wrong. Not me, somebody else. So, if you would like help, you can go to the website, which works directly with me. If you have a question or you might need some help, I'm dropping that email address You can also call the office as well. That's perfectly fine, okay? But I wanted to drop that stuff for you tonight because it's a weird, crazy world, and parasites are part of it, and I hope I helped all of you guys with some value tonight. I hope that was helpful, and we were a little off the wall, but it's all good, okay? Do me a favor. Prepare yourself. Get food, get water, get ammunition, get guns, get your family taken care of, and then most of all, help and serve somebody tomorrow, this week, this weekend. Be kind to people and make it a better place, okay? Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network.